Yo, what's up, you beautiful degenerates? It's your boy Ethan Klein back at it again with the tea and the shade. Today we're diving into the world of MrBeast, the YouTube king of cash. You know him, you love him, you probably wished he'd adopt you. This dude's rise to fame is the stuff of internet legend. And guess what? It freaking worked. Millions of subscribers, billions of views. He's got restaurants, he's got chocolate factories. But behind the smile, some seriously shady stuff is brewing. Now, before you MrBeast stands grab your pitchforks and come at me like I just insulted your grandma's cooking, let's get one thing straight. I'm not here to crucify the guy. This isn't about cancelling or hating. This is about accountability, about facing the hard truths behind the carefully crafted persona. Because lately, the whispers in the YouTube wind have been getting louder, and they're painting a less than angelic picture of our beloved philanthropist. We're talking allegations of fake contests, where the winners might be decided before the video even starts. We're talking injuries on set, some serious enough to make you question the safety standards of these elaborate stunts. And, buckle up for this one, we're talking about MrBeast's association with a certain someone accused of some truly disgusting things that make you question who you can really trust in this crazy world of online entertainment. Look, I get it. MrBeast represents something pure, something good in a world that often feels like it's going to hell in a handbasket. He's the guy who makes you believe that maybe, just maybe, there's still hope for humanity. But even heroes have flaws, even saints have a past, and even the most generous spirit can stumble and fall. So, if you're ready to peel back the layers of MrBeast's seemingly perfect facade, if you're ready to dive into the murky waters of controversy and scandal, then grab your snacks, settle in, and get ready for a wild ride. This is going to be juicy, this is going to be messy, and trust me, by the end of it, you're going to be looking at MrBeast in a whole new light. We're about to expose the man behind the money, the mastermind behind the madness. We're going to separate the fact from the fiction, the truth from the carefully curated image. This is MrBeast's reckoning, and you, my friend, have a front row seat. All right, folks, let's rip off the band-aid and dive right into the muck. Remember when I mentioned MrBeast's association with someone accused of some truly messed up stuff? Yeah, well, it's time to name names and shame the shameless. We're talking about none other than Ava Chris Tyson, MrBeast's friend and frequent collaborator. Now, Ava Chris Tyson, for those living under a rock, found himself at the center of some extremely serious allegations, the kind that makes your skin crawl and your stomach churn. We're talking multiple accusations of sexual assault and manipulation, accusations so disturbing that they sent shockwaves through the entire MrBeast fandom. You see, when you're a public figure like MrBeast, your circle of friends becomes everyone's business, especially when those friends are accused of heinous acts. Suddenly, it's not just about Ava Chris Tyson's alleged actions, but also about MrBeast's judgment, his loyalty, and his willingness to overlook red flags for the sake of his brand. Section 2. The Sins of the Associate. The accusations against Ava Chris were detailed, horrifying, and numerous. Women came forward with stories of being pressured into sexual situations, manipulated through her connection to MrBeast, and subjected to unwanted advances. These weren't just vague rumors. These were serious allegations with evidence and testimonies to back them up. The internet, being the chaotic beast it is, erupted. People were outraged, disgusted, and heartbroken. How could someone so closely associated with MrBeast, someone who preached kindness and generosity, be capable of such despicable acts? The court of public opinion was in session, and Ava Chris was found guilty before the legal system even had a chance to catch its breath. Section 3. A defense marred by naivete. Now, you'd think MrBeast, with his PR team and his army of advisors, would handle this situation with the utmost care and sensitivity, right? Well, buckle up, because this is where things get even messier. Instead of immediately distancing himself from Ava Chris Tyson, or at the very least expressing concern and empathy for the alleged victims, MrBeast chose a different path, the path of blind loyalty. He defended Ava Chris Tyson publicly, claiming he didn't believe the accusations and vouching for his character. Now, I'm all for believing your friends, but when multiple women come forward with such serious and consistent allegations, you gotta, at the very least, acknowledge the possibility that your boy might not be the saint you thought he was. This response, my friends, was a PR disaster of epic proportions. It reeked of privilege, of a man so used to his own narrative that he couldn't fathom the possibility of his friend being anything but perfect. The backlash was swift, brutal, and unforgiving. Backlash from the court of public opinion. Remember that court of public opinion I mentioned earlier? Yeah, well, they were not happy. MrBeast's defense of Ava Chris Tyson was seen as a slap in the face to the alleged victims, a blatant disregard for their pain and suffering. Social media exploded with criticism, with many accusing MrBeast of being an enabler, of protecting a predator to safeguard his own image. Influencers, YouTubers, and even everyday viewers turned on MrBeast, calling him out for his tone-deaf response and his apparent lack of empathy. The hashtag #MrBeastIsOver party started trending, and the once untouchable king of YouTube found himself on the receiving end of the internet's wrath. Damage control mode activated. Now I gotta give some credit where credit is due. MrBeast, after realizing the error of his ways and witnessing the full force of the internet's fury, did eventually issue a more appropriate response. He apologized for his initial reaction, claiming he was unaware of the full extent of the accusations and expressing support for victims of sexual assault. He also distanced himself from Dalton, stating that they were no longer friends and that he wouldn't be involved in any future projects with him. It was a classic case of damage control, a carefully worded statement designed to appease the masses and salvage what was left of his reputation. Scars of association. But here's the thing about apologies on the internet. They rarely erase the past. The damage, to some extent, was already done. MrBeast's initial reaction, that knee-jerk defense of his friend, left a stain on his carefully cultivated image, a crack in the facade of the benevolent philanthropist. The Ava Chris Tyson controversy forced everyone to confront the uncomfortable truth that even our idols, the people we put on pedestals, are flawed, capable of making mistakes, and sometimes even associating with truly terrible human beings. It served as a stark reminder that behind the millions of subscribers and the meticulously crafted online personas, YouTubers are just people, and people, as we all know, can be messy, complicated, and sometimes downright disappointing. But hey, this is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. We've got a whole lot more drama to unpack, more controversies to dissect, and more questionable decisions to analyze. So grab another snack, refill that drink, and get ready for Act 2, where we delve into the world of fake contests and rigged giveaways. Trust me, this is going to be good. The illusion of chance. All right, you beautiful degenerates. Strap in, because Act 2 of the MrBeast saga is all about shattered dreams, broken promises, and the illusion of winning big. That's right, we're diving headfirst into the murky waters of fake contests and rigged giveaways. Because let's face it, who doesn't love a good old-fashioned conspiracy theory, especially when it involves millions of dollars and the internet's golden boy? MrBeast built his empire on the backs of outrageous stunts and life-changing giveaways. He's the Robin Hood of YouTube, stealing from the rich, or at least that's what his sponsors think, and giving to the, well, mostly attractive young people who know how to edit a viral-worthy reaction video. But what happens when the very foundation of this empire, that sweet, sweet illusion of chance, starts to crumble faster than a cookie in a hurricane? You see, my friends, whispers of doubt have been swirling around MrBeast's contests for a while now. People started noticing patterns, questioning the authenticity of reactions, and wondering if maybe, just maybe, the fix was in from the very beginning. Whispers of deception, when winners smell fishy. Now, I'm not saying every single MrBeast contest is rigged. That would be irresponsible. reckless, and frankly, impossible to prove without raiding his headquarters and holding his video editors hostage. But let's just say that where there's smoke, there's usually a fire, and in the case of MrBeast, the smoke signals are starting to look like a 5-alarm blaze. There have been countless instances where viewers have cried foul, pointing out inconsistencies, suspicious editing, and winners who just so happen to be aspiring YouTubers or influencers themselves. Coincidence? Maybe. But when you string enough of these coincidences together, you start to get a picture that looks a lot like a carefully curated narrative designed to maximize views and engagement. Take, for instance, the infamous Last to Leave Circle Wins $100,000 challenge. Remember that one? Of course you do. It broke the internet, broke viewership records, and probably broke a few bones in the process. But it also broke the trust of many viewers when they realized that the winner, a seemingly random dude who managed to outlast everyone else, just happened to be a close friend of one of MrBeast's editors. Shocking, I know. The case of the missing transparency. Look, I get it. YouTube is a business, and like any good business, it thrives on entertainment, engagement, and a healthy dose of manipulation. But there's a fine line between creating compelling content and straight-up misleading your audience. And when your entire brand is built on the premise of giving ordinary people a shot at extraordinary experiences, that line becomes even more crucial, even more sacred. The problem with MrBeast's contests isn't necessarily that they're rigged, although, come on, let's be real, some of them probably are. It's the lack of transparency, the refusal to acknowledge the carefully constructed nature of these giveaways, that rubs people the wrong way. When you're dealing with millions of dollars and the hopes and dreams of millions of viewers, a little transparency goes a long way. It builds trust, it legitimizes the competition, and it prevents conspiracy theories from spreading faster than a bad case of herpes in a hot tub. MrBeast's rebuttal, a symphony of deflection. Now, to be fair to our boy Jimmy, yes, that's his real name, in case you were living under a rock. He has addressed these allegations, albeit in his own, shall we say, unique way. He usually deflects, denies, and occasionally throws in a vague statement about how he's always trying to be better without actually admitting to any wrongdoing. He'll talk about the importance of entertainment, the need to create compelling narratives, and the legal hoops he has to jump through to ensure his contests are fair. But he never really addresses the core issue, the lack of transparency, the feeling that he's not being entirely honest with his audience about how the sausage gets made. It's the classic politician's playbook. Answer the question you want to answer, not the question that was actually asked. It's a strategy that might work in the short term, but eventually, people start to see through the facade, and the trust, once broken, becomes much harder to rebuild. The uncomfortable truth about entertainment. But here's the uncomfortable truth, folks. We, the viewers, are complicit in this charade. We crave the drama, the excitement, the vicarious thrill of watching ordinary people win extraordinary prizes. We want to believe in the fairy tale, even if deep down, we know it's probably too good to be true. And MrBeast, the savvy businessman that he is, understands this better than anyone. He's giving us what we want, even if it means sacrificing a little authenticity along the way. He's selling us a fantasy, and we, the eager consumers, are lining up to buy it. It's the oldest story in the entertainment industry. The audience wants to be entertained, and the entertainer wants to entertain, and make a boatload of money in the process. It's a symbiotic relationship, fueled by our desire for escapism and our willingness to suspend disbelief. The price of trust. Can we ever go back? But at what cost? When does the illusion become deception? When does the pursuit of entertainment cross the line into exploitation? These are the questions that linger in the air like the stench of 1,000 unwashed YouTubers after a week-long gaming marathon. MrBeast's fake contest controversy isn't just about rigged giveaways. It's about the erosion of trust, the slow realization that maybe, just maybe, our heroes aren't who we thought they were. It's about the uncomfortable truth that behind the carefully crafted online personas, behind the millions of dollars and the heart-melting acts of generosity, there's a calculated, profit-driven machine that thrives on our attention, our emotions, and our willingness to believe. Can MrBeast recover from this? Can he rebuild the trust he's lost and regain the unwavering adoration of his fans? Honestly, I don't know. The internet is a fickle beast, quick to anger and even quicker to forgive. Only time will tell if MrBeast can weather this storm and emerge from the wreckage with his reputation intact. Onwards to the next scandal. But hey, we're not done yet, kids. We've still got a whole nother act to get through, and this time, things are about to get physical. That's right, we're diving into the world of MrBeast's challenges, where broken bones and bruised egos are as common as cash prizes and Lamborghinis. So buckle up, grab another snack, and prepare to be horrified, because this ride is far from over. Welcome to Act 3 of the MrBeast Exposé, where we trade in our detective hats for some good old-fashioned OSHA violations and questionable medical practices. We're diving deep into MrBeast's challenges, where the stakes are high and potential lawsuits are abundant. MrBeast loves a good stunt. It's his brand identity. Need to give away a house? Bury it under Orbeez. Want to make someone a millionaire? Lock them in a prison cell for a week. The line between fun and danger is blurry. And let's not forget the scale of these productions. MrBeast's got a whole crew and elaborate sets. It's a well-oiled machine designed to churn out viral content. Now, you can't pull off stunts of this magnitude without a few bumps, bruises, and the occasional trip to the ER. And boy, oh boy, does MrBeast have the medical bills to prove it. Over the years, there have been countless reports of injuries on set, ranging from minor scrapes and sprains to more serious stuff that would make your mama cry, and then probably sue. We've had contestants pass out from exhaustion, dislocate limbs in freak accidents, and suffer heat stroke so severe they could probably boil an egg on their foreheads. Remember that one challenge where they had to stand on shrinking platforms over a pool of something that looked suspiciously like Nickelodeon slime? Yeah, let's just say the chiropractor bills for that one were probably astronomical. And it's not just the physical injuries we have to worry about. Some contestants have reported lasting psychological trauma from the stress, the pressure, and the constant fear of being humiliated on camera. Imagine being locked in a room full of creepy crawlies for hours on end, knowing millions of people are watching and judging your every move. That's enough to give anyone a complex, even if they do walk away with a year's supply of ramen noodles. Now, I'm not saying MrBeast is intentionally putting his contestants in harm's way. Well, maybe not intentionally. But there's a definite sense that safety precautions often take a back seat to the almighty algorithm. When you're chasing viral fame and those sweet, sweet ad revenues, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and forget that real people with real bodies are at stake. And let's be honest, the contestants aren't exactly innocent in all of this. They know what they're signing up for, right? The promise of a life-changing sum of money can make even the most rational person do some pretty irrational things. It's the Faustian bargain of the influencer age. Risk your physical and mental well-being for a shot at internet glory. But even with informed consent and waivers signed in triplicate, there's a moral grey area here that's hard to ignore. When does pushing the boundaries of entertainment become reckless endangerment? When does the pursuit of views and likes come at the expense of basic human decency? These are the questions that keep me up at night, besides the crippling fear that my next video will get demonetized. Silence speaks volumes, the injured and the ignored. You'd think with all these injuries, MrBeast would ensure contestant safety, right? But no, MrBeast and his team are masters of silence. Injuries are swept under the rug faster than a Cheeto stain on a white t-shirt. It's the MrBeast equivalent of a magician's trick. Distract the audience and hope they don't notice. The ethics of entertainment. Drawing the line between fun and recklessness. So, where do we draw the line? When does harmless entertainment cross over into the realm of exploitation and negligence? These are tough questions, my friends. Questions that philosophers, ethicists, and bored YouTubers have been grappling with since the dawn of the internet. On the one hand, MrBeast provides entertainment, jobs, and opportunities for countless people. He's a self-made millionaire who's using his platform to spread joy, generosity, and the occasional case of mild concussion. He's the embodiment of the American dream, albeit with a slightly higher risk of tetanus. On the other hand, he's normalizing a culture of recklessness, where risking your well-being for a chance at internet fame is not only accepted, but encouraged. He's profiting off the pain and suffering of others, even if that suffering is just a sprained ankle and a bruised ego. He's a symptom of a larger societal problem, where our obsession with virality and instant gratification outweighs our concern for human safety and dignity. The show must go on. The uncertain future of MrBeast's brand of mayhem. So what does the future hold for MrBeast and his empire of controlled chaos? Will he address these concerns, implement stricter safety measures, and maybe invest in some liability insurance that doesn't require selling his soul to the devil? Or will he continue to push the boundaries, risking more injuries, lawsuits, and bad PR in the relentless pursuit of views and subscribers? Only time will tell, my friends. But one thing's for sure, the MrBeast saga is far from over, and I, for one, can't wait to see what kind of mayhem he unleashes next. Just try not to get hurt out there, kids. And if you do, make sure you get it on camera. It'll be great for the algorithm. Well, folks, we've waded through the muck, dodged a few lawsuits, and emerged from the wreckage of MrBeast's carefully constructed facade. What a wild ride, huh? It's like taking a spin in one of his Lambos. Exhilarating, a little terrifying, and you're never quite sure if you'll make it out in one piece. We've exposed the cracks in the facade, the uncomfortable truths behind the blinding smile and the bottomless pockets. The Dalton situation revealed a disturbing lack of judgment, a blind spot for the sake of loyalty that left a bad taste in everyone's mouths. The fake contest allegations chipped away at the illusion of opportunity, the suspicion that maybe, just maybe, those life-changing giveaways weren't as random as they seemed. And the injury reports, well, those painted a picture of a production company more concerned with viral moments than the well-being of its participants. It's like that Hans Christian Andersen story, the one with the naked emperor parading around in his imaginary finery. For years we've been applauding MrBeast's generosity, his grand gestures of philanthropy, but were we too blinded by the spectacle to notice the potential for exploitation, the manipulative tactics, the casual disregard for human well-being? And let's be real, folks, this isn't just about MrBeast. He's a product of a system that rewards virality above all else, a system where clicks are currency and attention spans are shorter than a Kardashian marriage. The pressure to constantly outdo yourself, to create bigger and bolder content, can lead even the most well-intentioned creators down a dark path. It's the tragedy of the commons YouTube style. Everyone's so busy trying to grab their slice of the algorithmic pie that they forget about the long-term consequences, the erosion of trust, the normalization of reckless behavior, the slow creep of moral bankruptcy that seems to be infecting the entire platform. So while it's easy to point fingers at MrBeast, to cast him as the villain in this twisted fairy tale, the truth is, he's just a symptom of a much larger problem. He's a mirror reflecting our own complicity in this system, our insatiable appetite for entertainment, our willingness to overlook ethical concerns when there's a chance to win a Tesla or watch someone eat a year's supply of mayonnaise. We've created a monster, folks, a Frankenstein's monster of algorithms, brand deals, and influencer culture. We've empowered these creators, given them platforms and audiences and paychecks that would make Fortune 500 CEOs blush. But with great power comes great responsibility, and somewhere along the way, that responsibility got lost in the shuffle, buried under a mountain of free merch and sponsored content. MrBeast is just the most visible symptom of this systemic sickness. He's the canary in the coal mine, the warning sign that the very foundation of the YouTube ecosystem is built on shaky ground. The cracks are starting to show, the facade is crumbling, and it's only a matter of time before the whole thing comes crashing down. So, what can we do? Do we boycott MrBeast, cancel our subscriptions, and retreat to the safety of public television, where the only risk is falling asleep during a Ken Burns documentary? Or do we demand better, hold these creators accountable, and remind them that true influence comes not from the size of your audience, but from the integrity of your actions. The verdict's still out on MrBeast, folks. Can he evolve, adapt, and find a way to maintain his empire without sacrificing his soul, or at least his public image, in the process? Can he acknowledge the criticisms, address the concerns, and maybe hire a really good lawyer specializing in personal injury cases? Or will he become another cautionary tale, another Icarus flying too close to the sun, another victim of the very system that made him a star? Only time will tell, my friends. Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the internet is watching, and the court of public opinion is always in session.
It has come to light that MrBeast was aware of Ava's actions in the Discord as he was present during the incidents. This revelation adds a new layer of complexity to the narrative we've been following. How does this change our perception of MrBeast? Was he complicit or merely a bystander caught in the whirlwind of his own empire? Pause 5 says. The implications are staggering. If MrBeast knew, why didn't he intervene? Was it a calculated decision to maintain the facade? Or was he simply overwhelmed by the vastness of his own creation? These questions demand answers, and the audience deserves transparency. Pause 3. As we peel back the layers, we see a more intricate web of relationships and responsibilities. The trust of millions of fans hangs in the balance. Will MrBeast step up and take accountability, or will he retreat behind the walls of his digital empire, hoping the storm will pass? Pause 5. The stakes have never been higher. The internet is watching and the truth will out. Stay tuned because this story is far from over.